Sorry for being a couple minutes late. Hey Adam, hey Fruga, ça va bien? Et toi? Et toi? Et tout? So happy Monday, happy first day of August. It's very exciting. It's exciting. Yes, so I have had kind of a busy morning so far. I'm actually doing an update of my goals journal, which is something I had been working on in November of last year, and it's very interesting to update my goals from November of last year because a lot has happened since then. So I have just started doing that now, and yeah, so that's where I am right now. I got up, I went to the gym, and then I went to mail a card for a friend's son's birthday, and that was just very discouraging. I went to the post office here in the city on 68th Street, 69th Street. It was not a pleasant experience. And part of that was me, so I wanted to be there right in the morning, because things usually go better in the morning. That was not the case. I guess things have changed in the post office. Like, okay, all right. It was not a positive experience. So I guess the post office guy was a little bit short and curt, and I was short and curt right back, and he did not like that. And I was like, okay. And I could have been a lot more I almost said understanding, but I'm like, that's not the right word. I could have been more permissive, and I just decided not to. So that's how that went, because I usually go by the maxim, treat people how you want to be treated, but I feel like very often I am not treated the way that I would like to be treated, and I'm like, well, that's no excuse for me not being polite right back. And it kind of like stuck with me because it just did. I didn't let it stop me. Hello, Fruga. Oh yes, that would be awesome for you to write your story. You should do that. Just write a couple words a day. Just write 500 words a day. That's my strategy. Just write a certain number a day, and before you know it, you'll have your whole story there. So I keep replaying that in my mind, and I'm like, it's just frustrating. I didn't want to let that interaction, that unpleasant interaction, spoil my whole day, because I feel like I and the reason I'm kind of bringing this up again is because I feel like I vacillate between being a doormat or feeling rude or snippy with people. And I don't want to be either. I don't want to be a doormat, and I don't want to be rude and snippy with people. So I am having to better. I don't know if it makes any difference. The reason I'm kind of engaging in that dialogue with myself and with you guys is because it's come up more than once where like somebody else will cut in front of me, and if it's an older person, like in line, if it's an older person or someone who like genuinely looks like they didn't know, I won't say anything. I'll just be like, please go ahead, in my head. But like I feel like if I do that, people are very quick to tell me, and I'm like, okay. So I guess on the whole, it's just a negotiation. And it's easy to say treat people the way you want to be treated, but then it's frustrating when people don't treat you, when people don't extend to you the same courtesy. And I kind of also feel like I've had a couple instances where people have like, I've asked questions and people have kind of answered me back, and I'm like, oh, well, that's a little bit, that could have been taken as a little bit snippy. And then I will interact with other people in the same way, or I will respond in a way that's like smart or sassy, and I feel terrible for doing that. I feel terrible. And I'm like, huh, how come they can do it, but I can't? I don't know. I just because it's come up a lot more lately again. Okay, so that was my, whatever, 5-minute rant on how to interact with people in the real world. No, I don't want my earbuds here. That's frustrating too. Sorry, guys. I want to keep my earbuds here. Let me know if there's a difference in the sound quality. I've watched these back and I can't really tell if there's a difference. Frugal, what do I think about Jordan Belfort? I don't know who Jordan Belfort is. American entrepreneur. What is he earning money with? Oh, financial criminal. Uh-oh. Jordan Ross Belfort is an American entrepreneur, speaker, author, former stockbroker, and financial criminal. He pled guilty to spam. Oh, the Wolf of Wall Street. Okay, that's who he is. Interesting. I think that he wrote a book that turned into a really big movie, right? So, cool. That's the Wolf of Wall Street. That sounds like his life. That's what he did. All right, so drawing a line under any sort of emotional interactions, just let it go, let it go. So the goals notebook that I'm using is the My Goals system. The goals journal, it's founded by Adam Jellick, I think, MI Goals, GOALS. And I like this so much. I like this so far. I didn't write, so I took the little thing. Oh, Katie Bowden, hello. I see you have a question. Let me log in and answer your question. Katie, happy you're here. Happy to everyone that's watching. Happy Monday. So glad that you are watching. And if you're listening on the live stream, thank you for listening and watching. How are you doing? How are you doing with your goals? I had this huge plan to wake up early today, as it's the first day of the month. I went to bed at a reasonable time, and of course it was like one thing after another. I woke up with a bloody nose, and I couldn't get back to sleep, and then I just was uncomfortable, and then there was a bug on my leg that woke me up, so it was a ridiculous night of sleep. I got about 4 hours, and I ended up sleeping until like 7:30. So that's what I've been doing so far. But I did manage to get a whole bunch of other stuff that I wanted to do done. I made eyeglasses, an eye appointment. I am putting together the pack and play that Sandra very, very kindly sent me. And thank you notes will be going out. So kind. Sandra Torado, thank you so much. So that's what I've been doing. It's super simple to put together. I just need to figure out the attachments. Like once you know how to do it, it's super simple, but I just need to figure out how to do it. We're T-minus 34 days until baby gets here. So, well, give or take, because as everyone keeps saying is, I know baby will come when baby is ready. So I just want to be ready for whenever that is. Very exciting. So that is something that I did today. Oh, and it's another thing where like I feel, because I am advanced maternal age, I have a bunch of the doctor keeps wanting me to come in. Let me not say the doctor, standard practice is that I come in for appointments every week now, and I'm like, I don't really love that. But I do want to do what's best. Katie, I'm looking at your, oh, I know, at your comment. I wish people would be courteous. So Yes, I think people have changed since the pandemic. Yes. So this was a post office employee, and I know that, I mean, they must be, I'm trying to understand where other people are coming from. Like, I'm trying to understand where this person was coming from. And in the begin, like, it started out like a friendly interact, like it was just whatever. I understand, like, he probably had like he had some spunk. He was a little sassy. It was like, if I wanted this to, it was just a card. Like, it was just a card that I was mailing, and I was like, if I wanted this to get there overnight, how much would it cost? He's like, I'd have to charge it's $27. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot. Like, I don't want to do that. And he's like, then it was like $7.95 for 2 to 3 day delivery. And I'm like, oh, that's too much. And I'm like, what if I just wanted it to go? He's like, 60 cents for a stamp. And I'm like, awesome. And he's like, great, you can put it in the mail slot over there. And I'm like, okay. And I could have just been, I could have just done it and done that there, but I was like, oh, can I like hand this to you and ask you to hand cancel it? He's like, I'm gonna have to charge you $1.20 for that. And I'm like, really? Like, okay. But because I would like this card to have gotten there, and it's on me, I would like this card, the birthday's tomorrow, so I should have fully done this earlier. So that's 100% on me. I'm like, can I just give it to you? And, like, you know, put it in the bag. It's like, I have to charge you $1.20 to do that. And I'm like, okay. And looking back, I'm like, well, oh, that seems odd. And I guess, so I asked him if he could hand cancel it. And he said, well, I have to charge you $1.20. And I'm like, it seems like a lot, because I'm like, I really? Things have changed. So, and that's again, fully on me. So I want to own my part in that. I also just didn't want the card sitting there until like 3 p.m. I was like, well, can you tell me what time they pick up the mail? He's like, it'll be printed over there. And I'm like, and this is the part where I got steppy. I was like, well, don't you know? And I was like, don't you work here? And he was like, excuse me? And I'm like, well, you're being sassy to me. Like, fine. I'm gonna be sassy right back to you. Anyway, so sorry. I'm getting a little carried away. Anyway, it's done. The card's mailed. That's fine. I'm gonna send an Amazon gift card tomorrow. Done. It's done. All right, moving on. Moving on to entrepreneur moves. Yes, here we are. Entrepreneur moves for today. So again, just keeping my side of the street clean, I did not need to be as sassy as I was. Because I was a little sassy there. Okay, so in my goals notebook. Okay, so the way this notebook works is there are short, medium, and long-term goals, which part of me is like, you don't know how your life is going to unfold. This goes 3 months, 12 months, 3 years, 5 years. I have no idea how my life is going to unfold. For example, a goal that I thought would take longer did not take as long as I thought it was going to take. Having kids did not take as long as I thought it was going to take. So there's that. So my 3 long-term goals, let's start with those, because the short-term goals from November are like done, right? I don't want to say done, but I'm just curious. Oh, cute. Okay, so my long-term goals: goal 1, build a $1 million net worth. Goal 2, have kids. Goal 3, what is goal 3? Own home. Goal 4, own a Birkin. That's a goal. And do I have a goal 5? Do we have goal 5s? Nope. Maybe. I did not fill in a goal 5. I would like to. Do I have? This needs like tabs in it. I need to put tabs in this. So here's the other thing: is I find a lot of times I'll spend a lot of time preparing to fire and not actually firing. But working with you guys really keeps me focused on what I have to do to build that net worth, which is goal number 1, to increase my income, which is goal number 1. So, yes, I did that. Good. So I just got some like life admin stuff taken care of today. Called about my eye doctor appointment. Called about a rental car for my mom in New Jersey. So the next 3 things I have to do that can move my needle forward are filming a video and editing a video. Yes, so those are the next 2 things. Sass is great. Your excuse is you were pregnant. See, Katie, thank you for saying that. I don't really think that that's an excuse for me. I mean, because I feel like I've just been a little bit, I don't know, I think I've been abusing the privilege. If I'm being quite honest, I've been abusing the privilege. And it's not a privilege, but I've been abusing my situation. First of all, I can think of one time on the subway when someone offered me their seat very, very, very kindly. And it was like a younger guy, like in his 20s. And I was so, so pleased. And like my husband was with me at the time, and I was like, oh, that's like, what a guy, like what a really, really sweet guy. I actually didn't take him up on it. I was like, no, I'm fine, because I like wanted to stand at that point. But I don't think that being pregnant is an excuse to be rude. I hope I wasn't rude, but I think I was just a little bit sassy, because I feel like he was being a little bit curt and dismissive, and I was like, okay. And yes, things have changed since, I used to go to the post office when I was a kid 20 years ago. Yes, maybe and I looked it up. I was like, is there a charge for hand canceling? And I couldn't really get a clear answer. I just feel like he was kind of maybe being a little bit of a jerk, and I just wasn't in the mood for it. I wasn't in the mood to be walked all over. Like that's the thing, is I often find it difficult to balance being assertive and polite, and not being a doormat. And I feel like that's for a lot of people, not just me, not just women either. It's a fine line to know, this is something that you can change. This is something that you can't. And here's the other thing is, and I know this from working retail and working like a counter or whatever, there's a lot that the person behind the desk may or may not be able to do for you if you're kind. So that's always my default. I also feel like, I don't know, I take things personally, number one. So when the guy was like, yeah, go put it in the chute over there, I'm like, this is something that, like, it matters. It's not a huge thing, but it's like, it matters. Fruga, am I in location about my apartment? Yes, I'm in my apartment right now. Fruga, you're saying, what is my strategy to organize my budget? That's a good question. Do I use 50, 30, 20 or something different? That's a very good question, Fruga. Because I have not been using a budget. That's not true. I have an idea of what I want to spend, and I've actually been looking at that as I get ready to film my July wrap-up, which is coming soon. But especially now, I'm like, I have been a little bit more lax with my budget categories, for sure. I have not been as disciplined with my budget categories, so that's not ideal. So Fruga, when it comes to that, it's actually a good question. Let me see what my spending has been as far as percentages. And another thing is, I have not been as diligent as I would like to be when it comes to, especially in the top 3, my spending in the top 3 categories, housing, food, and transportation. Food is usually my highest discretionary cost, for sure. Okay, it takes so much less effort to be kind. I know, I don't understand people. Carry on, girl, being just as you are. Thank you, Katie. I'm just trying not to let it get me down. And I also try to ask myself, how much does this matter? Like, how much it doesn't matter. But here's the thing, I don't want to be walking away wishing like I'd asked different questions. And on the whole, like I guess I feel like I ask pretty good questions. And again, in this situation, I'm like, well, if you're just letting it go, I'm letting it go. Okay, so what, I know that I have more than that. It has been a while. Tracking expenses has been, an ongoing challenge. I'm doing it, it's just not super easy. Okay, so on average, I usually spend about 500, this month, 500 on food out and 500 for groceries. It's a lot of money. So could I cut that down? Absolutely. So it's about a third of my budget on food. Could I cut that down? Sure. And this month I will also say I have been doing, I cook three to four times a week, and I do protein heavy, like protein primary meals. So that is primarily, I would say it's 50% protein and then 50% luxury goods. For example, there's a low sugar jam that I love from Lidl that I get every time I go back to Jersey, and I just love it. And that's a luxury item. And like keto snacks, keto treats are a luxury item. So yes, there have been a bit of that. There has been some of that. So it's 50% high protein and 50% keto treats. And my blood glucose numbers have been really good these past couple weeks, so I am not mad at it. I'm not mad at that spending for groceries. Food out could always be less. Always. Thing is, I predict it will only become more as I'm about to have a baby. I have also stocked the fridge or the freezer with some prepackaged convenience foods just to have. Because popping a frozen pizza into the oven costs $4, whereas ordering from pizza costs a lot more. Granted, when we order out for pizza, it usually costs, I'm gonna say, costs around $100, but that'll feed us for like 2-3 days. So, I bought this color. So we're looking at cars. And that's another thing. I am trying to be reasonable about the car. We don't need a new car or a different car right now. We don't need a new car. We live in Manhattan. You don't need a car in Manhattan. I can take Uber. I can use my car till my car dies. That's it. We don't need another car. I am hoping that we will be able to buy a different house in the next year and a half. And that will require all of our credit to be on par for a mortgage. So that's primary. And we both agree we'd rather have a house than a new car. So that's kind of what's, that's the priority. I think he just likes looking at cars. I don't know if he's actually thinking of buying one, but it's so nice. It's on the lot of Williamsport. It's so nice. We're really admiring this color Blue Flame in a Toyota Hybrid, in the Toyota RAV4. really like it. We really like it. Again, not to get emotional. It's a process. Oh my goodness gracious, it's a big process. But that's just life. So like car talks, okay. Again, we don't need a new car. I have a car, we have Uber, it's fine. Like I'm not going to get caught up in this whole idea that I need a new car. I do not. We do not need a new car. People do it every day with no car living in the city. It's fine. No car living in a city with an infant. It's fine. Going to Jersey for doctor's appointments. I'll just find a pediatrician here. Which is something else I have to do. I can't. There's so much. It's a lot to do. But that's okay. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. That is all I have for you. So, how are you guys doing? How are you doing on your goals? Okay, so again, looking at my goal notebook, I have my 3 activities. After this, I get to film a video, ideally to film and upload by like 2 p.m. So stay tuned for that. It's just going to be a really quick, I don't even know if I'm going to share my numbers, if I'm going to screen share. You know, I'm not going to screen share my numbers, my budget numbers, just because it's easier not to. I might write them down, but it's just going to be a real quick film and upload what's going on. It's a good party on, oh, you had a good party on Saturday night. Awesome. Very cool, Fruga. What did we do on Saturday night? I had just a chill day, actually. I try to write it down so I remember. I just went to the gym and the grocery store. And then, I feel like I did something. My husband went to the gym after. He came back. I did a little bit of work, and then we watched Stranger Things. We're watching Stranger Things, so that was fun. Fruga, where was your party? What did you do? It's very exciting for you. So I do want to keep track of my big goals. There we go. How am I going to do this? I don't know. Okay, so goal 1 is build $1 million net worth. We should do it like this. What have you guys been watching lately? What's inspiring you lately? Number 1, $1 million. So something I do every morning is write out 3 gratitudes, 3 things that I'm grateful for, and I put them in my gratitude journal. And something that I'm realizing is that, and this is something I've talked about before, I'm living the life that I wanted to live 5 years ago. So I'm 39 now. When I was 34, everything that I'm doing now is something I would have wanted to do when I was 34. So that is just a continual gratitude, point of gratitude for me. It's huge. Goal number 2, have kids. So I really want to dwell in that state of being grateful. Ooh, something else that we did on Sunday, and again, this relates to mindset, is that we went to church, which is something I haven't done. We went to our local Episcopal church because my husband's father is an Episcopal priest. And it was good because I've never been to a Sunday service at his church, his local church, but he'd been to, he said the last time he went was years ago, but it was important to me to go and take communion. Now as we're 6 weeks down, 6 weeks to go, I really wanted to take communion. So that was good. 3, own home. Because I ahead and done it. Kate, watch Keep Breathing on Netflix, eBaying and Prolific whilst my daughter's with her dad. Oh, awesome. What is eBay? What is that, Prolific? What is that? It sounds very fun. Do you list items on eBay? Is that your hustle? Katie, that's awesome. I actually sold something. Okay. Very excited. I have to go back to Jersey tomorrow. I'm planning to go back to Jersey and ship the item. I was very excited to sell it. It was a car part, which is my love. Just because they're so straightforward, and simple's not the right word, but they're very straightforward. You need this part for this repair. Done. So that's very cool. Keep Breathing. I'm gonna look that up because I'm always looking for new recommendations on Netflix. I have been watching. So what I'll try to do is watch while I work, as this relates to the entrepreneur life. Let me check on in here. What have I been watching? Oh, I've been watching Love on the Spectrum, which is a delightful show about people with autism finding love. All right, keep breathing. Ooh, interesting. Is this a... Ooh, it looks good. I will add it to my list. Thank you, Kate. Go back to add it. Done. Very cool. 4. Goal number 4. Amazing. So keeping that forward momentum is really important for me. I'm really thinking about in the next 4 years, which is interesting because I haven't really thought about that. Prolific is a survey site where you can earn money. Oh, excellent. Yes, Love on the Spectrum. Adorable, right? I watched the Australian version. Oh my gosh. The season 1 with the guy that played pool and his, I guess, wife now. They're engaged and I guess they got married. Is that really, do I only have 4 long-term goals? I think so. Yes, only 4. So these are my 4 long-term goals. $1 million net worth, have kids, own home, and a Birkin. That's it. And imagine if I achieved those 4 long-term goals in the next 5 years. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. And I can clearly tell that the one that's going to take the most work is the $1 million net worth. So that's the one that's going to need the most strategy and discipline. Here's the other thing is I have a plan for myself and my husband to retire in 10 years too. So he's 49 and I'm 39. So, oh, I love that. Awesome, guys. Look at that. So that's where that is. So I don't know. Virgo, would I like living in a wonderful house with my family in Manhattan? No. Thank you for asking. That I feel like this is the life that we live right now. We're in a co-op on the Upper West Side, Central Park West. It's gorgeous. I love it for now. I would actually not like to live in Manhattan long term. That's for neither of us. That's not really the goal. We both want a lawn. We both want would love some land. We both like a pool. We both like space for the kiddos to run around. So that's the goal. And I think what he's thinking is it's going to take a lot of hassle to sell this place, which it will. It's just what it is. So I have all these plans and things I'd like to do that might make it easier. If we could lease a place and be in somewhere else so that he can deal with this while we're looking to buy something else, that would be nice. So if I could afford to lease a place for us in Delaware while he deals with this, that might be good. I don't know. We'll see how that unfolds. So with that in mind, excellent. All right, I checked off one of the things on my list, getting this whole notebook set up. And these are only long-term goals because I feel like short and medium-term goals are like, forget it. Short-term goals, I will complete a transformation. Actually, I did that. I did complete this transformation workbook. You can find this personal workbook on my Etsy shop down below. Awesome. So the 2 short-term goals I did complete, so I can probably come back to them. What are the medium-term goals? Midterm goals? I don't really know. I did not do any of those because I don't really know what to put there. But I'm going to go fill this in as well. Alrighty guys, it's been lovely to chat with you. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know if you want any details on any of the other things I've talked about. This goals workbook is really helpful. I'm glad I dug this out and started working on it. I'm off to go film a video, so hopefully that will be up the next couple hours or so. Yes, so thank you so much for chilling with me on this Monday afternoon. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching on the live stream, if you're listening on the live stream, let me know how you are and what's going on. Okay, take care guys. Bye. Bye Fruga. Have a nice day. You too.